Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ryan from Elevate Security, and if you've watched some recent videos, some recent live streams, I think from last week, I did a little bit of what I'm about to show you in this video. I really wanted to break it down, do it justice. Now, before I get into this, what I will say is that if you guys are interested in more bash content, bash scripting, and just overall Linux for hacking purposes type of content, be sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video. Lets me know you guys are interested in this type of content. It definitely helps out with the algorithms as well. Now let's just get right into it. In this video, this is going to be one of the videos leading up to learning a lot of Linux and bash scripting type of stuff. This is a particular command line utility that I found a lot of use as a hacker. Now there are a number of use cases for this that you could even go more advanced than what I'm going to show you in this video. But what I'm going to show you is pretty much the most useful sort of use case for this command line utility, at least for me, from experience. So what I'm going to be breaking down in this video is sed, the sed command line utility, which is this one right here. But yeah, it originates, it's a super old command line utility. This is from way back when people used to edit files using something called a utility called ed, which was the line editor, and literally you could only read one line at a time. Imagine having a text document, but you could only read one line at a time. That was from the 80s. And I think that's around when this came out. So this has been around a really long time, the stream editor here. But what it's really good for is allowing you to make quick edits and apply it across the entire file globally, in sed speak, they would say. So we're going to use it for exactly those purposes. I'll show you how to do that. We'll get right into it. So to demo this, I'm going to pull up an example from the teacher box on Hack the Box. Now, here's a use case, right? Say we want to do some maybe brute forcing or use some kind of file in some way, maybe for brute forcing or whatever, but we need to edit the file because we don't want it as is. We need to make some tweaks to it before we use it for whatever purposes. Again, maybe brute forcing, maybe whatever, right? So if I take a look at this file here, this ASCII.txt, you see this is a word list that I was going to use on this box. Now, I actually formed this with a sed command, which you could check out the live stream on Teacher to see which one I use for that. But we're basically going to be doing the same thing. Now, let's say here, right, we have this word list, but instead of cool, we want it to say lame because we know the password has lame in it. We have this word list here, but we need to edit it. But that would take forever, right? Because if we did it manually, that's a lot of lines. Let's see how many lines are in this. We do a word count on that. A line count rather. There's 93 lines, so 93 different potential passwords here. So we would have to change this manually 93 times, which would take forever, but there's an easy way to do this. We could use sed. Now, before I get into this, I'm just going to shed some light on the fact that with Linux, there's almost always multiple ways to do things, so you don't have to use sed to do this. There's a lot of different ways you can use, things that you can use to achieve the same thing here, but this is just one of the ways that I like to do it, and if nothing else, you got another tool in your tool belt that you can call upon when you need it. So, all right, let's get right into it. Now, before we actually type our command fully, I want to warn you that sed, it's not the most pretty looking thing. This is going to look really messy and intimidating potentially, but don't let it intimidate you. It's really simple once you understand it, and I'll break it down for you every step of the way. So first we're going to type sed, and the way sed works is on a find and replace basis. So we're going to give it the string that we want to find, right? In this case, it's going to be cool, and we'll tell it what we want to replace it with. Now, one last thing is that I want to say that sed works with regular expressions. Now, regular expressions, there's so much you can do with them. I'll cover that in another video if there's some interest. Let me know down in the comments section below. I can cover regular expressions. And for the use case here, we won't really need any. So I just wanted to shed some light on that. You can use this with regular expressions. So with S, that is telling it we're going to do a find and replace. Now the delimiter in the sed command, I don't know why they chose to do this. This is what makes it look ugly. But the delimiter is this / here that you see. So that's our delimiter. Now what goes here is what term we're searching for. In this case, cool. But those O's are actually zeros, as you see here. So we're searching for that delimiter. Now the next thing that we input is what we want to replace that with. So we're going to use lame. We're going to spell it like this just to follow suit with the whole number thing going on. So we're going to replace it with lame. And one last thing that we're going to add here is the G, and that's going to tell it to apply it to globally, so to every line in the file. Now, there is one thing that I noticed really quick is this is actually a capital C, and this is case sensitive. So, I mean, I can show you right now. This won't make any changes, right, because it didn't find any match with lowercase c 00L. It's actually a uppercase C. So we put that, and now we see that very quickly and easily and without any potential human error, right? If we'd done this manually, maybe we missed a line somewhere, and that's a potential source of error, right? No, this did it just across the board, just as we told it. Another thing, we could use like a regular expression. So we could say that if it's a C or if it's a lowercase c, so upper or lowercase c, apply this, and it'll still make the change because, hey, it's a uppercase C, but if it would have been lowercase, it would also, so this is kind of a or. This is a regular expression here, right? I don't want to get too in the weeds with that, but yeah, I just wanted to show you how it does work with regular expressions. But one thing that you'll notice is even though we ran this, right, and we got this output, that did not actually modify this ASCII.txt file, as I can show you here, right? It's still as it was originally. Now, why is that, right? Well, in order to modify it, to actually make the changes persistent, we need to add the -I flag. Now, when I do that, if I cat it, then we see that it's a persistent change. So because of that, the way that I like to run this command is I always run it without the -I flag first. That way I can see from standard output if it did what I wanted to do before overriding. Then if it did, then I'll add the -I flag to go ahead and override it. Now, we can switch this back just for example's sake, right? We would just do the inverse, right? Search for lame, replace with cool in this case, right? So now, if we cat that, we'll see that it is back to what it was originally. So yeah, this is just a quick and dirty sort of tutorial showing you guys how to just go ahead and get your hands dirty, get your feet wet with the sed command line utility to do quick find and replaces on files. So really handy thing to have, a little thing to have in your tool belt there. And yeah, I hope you guys gained value from this video. Definitely let me know any questions or comments down in the section below. And yeah, stay tuned for more Linux content. I'll see you guys in another video.